In this video, I'm going to show you how to work the front underarms in a bottom-up garment using my Azalea top here as the example. In a construction like this, after the dividing row, you're working now just on the front. But first you'll need to cast on stitches at each end for the underarms. And this usually happens on the first 2 rows of working the front. So let's do the first row of the front together. Now that we're working flat, my first row is actually going to be a wrong side row here. The pattern says using the cable method, cast on 4 stitches. So let me show you how to do this cable cast on. You're going to insert your right needle in between the next 2 stitches on your left needle. So not into the stitch, literally in between. So I'm going to take my needle and just go right in between the 2 stitches. Then you're going to wrap the yarn around your right needle, just like you would to knit. And you're going to pull the loop through, again, just like you would to knit. So you're going to pull this loop through. But instead of having this stitch go off of the left needle, you're going to take this loop and pull it through. And you're just going to put it onto your left needle like this. And then cinch up just a little bit, not too tight. So that is 1 stitch cable cast on. I have 3 more to do, so let's do another. So I'm going to insert my right needle in between the 2 stitches on my left needle, just like that. Wrap the yarn, bring the loop through, and then place it on the left needle. In between the 2 stitches. Wrap the yarn, bring the loop through. Now, one thing I want to point out, I'm putting it on without twisting the stitch. I'm just taking this loop and then I'm putting it on like here. I've also seen some methods of the cable cast on where they twist the stitch and then it's put on this way. I've experimented with this personally and I don't see a huge difference between the 2. So you could do either way. Just be consistent. If you're going to twist it, just twist all of them. In this case, I'm just going to keep putting them on just like this. Okay, so I have 1 more to do. Okay, so once you have cable cast on the 4 stitches like I just did, the pattern then says to purl these new stitches and then purl to end. So I will just purl all the stitches now on the needle, including the ones that I just knit. Now see the last cable cast on stitch, it sort of is leaning this way. So just be careful when you insert your needle to get it into that stitch fully. And then purl it. And then the rest of the stitches are usually a lot easier. It's usually just that first stitch. Now here's the other thing I want to point out is that once you start knitting on the body, once you've purled all those stitches, it might seem really loose right around here, and that's totally normal. When you go to weave in ends at the end, any looseness around there can easily be cinched up. Okay, so I've just about reached the end of my first row here. Then I'm going to turn the work to work my next row. And the next row starts the same as the previous row did. We're going to cable cast on 4 stitches. So just like we did on the other end, I'm going to insert my right needle in between the next 2 stitches on the left needle, wrap the yarn, bring the loop through, and then place the loop right on the left needle and just giving it a little bit of a cinch, not too tight. So that's 1 stitch cast on. 2, 3, and 4. And then it says that you're just going to knit to the end. So same as the previous row, that first stitch can be a little awkward getting into. But then I'm just going to go ahead and knit all of the stitches to the end. So that is how you work front underarms in a bottom-up garment like my Azalea top.